Sorry, mate. The voting closed yesterday.
You put in, it's closed.
I thought we had another
like
day.
12 hours ago.
I never got
finished with your campaign now. Hello everybody, welcome to the GCN Show. Coming up, we've got cross, road, track and team news.
Plus all our usual segments like Strava, Caption, Tweet, Tech of the Week, plus some more Marginal Pains. You nearly ready?
Yeah, I'll be there in a minute. Still can't believe it. I thought it was another day.
French sprinter Nacer Bouhanni has always been fond of boxing, and in fact he uses it to complement his off-season training. But in a recent interview with the French newspaper L'Equipe, he stated that he'd like to take things further in the future.
Yeah, so the 24-year-old has actually said that he's going to retire from cycling at the age of 32 and then give himself time to actually develop a career in boxing. So let's hope he's better than your average pro cyclist at throwing punches wearing lycra and cleats.
Definitely.
Have you ever had a fight on a bike, Matt?
Oh, fuck! No, but I've had a few nearly.
We had a little contretemps, didn't we?
Back in the day. We're all good now, though, aren't we, mate?
Well,
Love them
you
to
might
bits,
be.
really.
Caption competition now, and the results from last week. Well, Matteo Russo, congratulations, you were the winner with this. Dan Lloyd to Simon, you missed a spot. And we chose that mainly because that's exactly what Dan said at the time.
Because you missed a spot.
Thanks, Dan.
Anyway, this week's picture is this one from Team Katusha's training camp in Alpe in Spain of Alexander Kolobnev, well, just lying around by the beach.
I never could do sit-ups.
10 more. Was that your suggestion or is that just what you're saying?
Have you seen his six-pack, Dan? He can clearly do sit-ups.
This week, the UCI announced their World Tour licenses for 2015, and currently there are 16 teams currently at World Tour level, including I Am Cycling, who stepped up to the World Tour level after apparently doubling the team budget.
Yeah, there were a couple of teams missing though. Firstly, the French Europcar team, who've apparently got a slight shortfall in their budget for 2015. And secondly, the Kazakh Astana team, for slightly more obvious reasons of multiple positive tests over recent months.
Yeah, the UCI will make a final announcement on December the 10th. Now for Europcar, it's probably not such a big deal. They've made Pro Conti status work really well for their objectives in the past. But Vincenzo Nibali, apparently in an interview with Velo News, has said that he may well be a little bit screwed if Astana don't get that licence.
The flight deck is a fully integrated, proprietary, specialised bars and stem.
Okay, it's time for tech news now. We're having a look at Shimano Dura Ace Di2 levers because since 2012 they've had a hidden button at the top which appeared to have basically no function.
No, but Shimano announced last week that with the addition of their D-Fly unit, you'll now be able to use the buttons to control your Garmin, Magellan or Pro computer, and potentially there's going to be more functions added in the near future.
Yeah, and for you, all of you eagle-eyed tech heads out there, the early incarnation of this system was known as the flight deck.
Actually, it was.
So there was actually something called a flight deck?
It was,
It's actually
it
right,
existed.
yeah.
It existed.
It says flight deck, honest, just right there.
Last week, the UCI issued a press release detailing their plans to further develop the women's side of the sport. Now, they've already been self-funding in terms of televising the women's event this year, but next year they're committed to a new World Cup event in North America, and in 2016, they've renewed their commitment to increase the depth of their calendar. Now, we introduced another new feature a couple of weeks ago, our mistake of the week, which of course was deliberate. However, lots of you have been commentating with other mistakes which were actually entirely undeliberate and just us making mistakes. But mistake of last week was me introducing the Christmas gifts video as 2015. Welcome to GCN's 2015 Quirky Christmas Gift Guide.
Yeah, that was a great one actually, that Dan. That was a big mistake and you just snuck it right in there.
Entirely deliberate, yeah.
Interesting actually, that video. Surely you guys are banned from the channel right now?
Why?
Right, I mean, yeah, what about you abandoning the shoot?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Well, I wasn't going to risk a second offence. That's a lifetime ban.
What were you even wearing when you left the shoot?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, the general public.
You don't wear pants under cycling shorts. I rode there.
On to our Strava club now, and it appears that Australia is the place to train at this time of year. Both Cycle Dr. 1 and Lewis Keatley both racked up over 1,000 kilometres over the week. And David Edwards saw a lot of Queensland. He did a 360 kilometre ride from Atherton to Townsville.
And Brian Toon, fresh from his Everesting attempt last week, racked up an incredible 24,000 metres of climbing this week, but also special mention goes to Amy Manning, who on Gran Canaria racked up 17,700 metres of climbing, including the best effort up a 44-kilometre epic climb, of which she is now Queen of the Mountain.
Well done.
Yeah, you know, we've actually got evidence now that Brian Toon did his Everesting on a climb called Carl Daly.
Not
and it
a
is
person.
actually a climb.
Okay.
It's not a person. So that wasn't our deliberate mistake of the week last
I feel
week.
quite relieved actually.
Yeah.
The B Post Bank Trophy continued over the weekend in Hasselt in Belgium, and both Kevin Powers and Sanne Cant continued their winning streaks. However, there was a notable performance in the women's race with world road champion Pauline Ferrand-Prévot showing her versatility by finishing a very strong second.
And the following day at the Vlaanderen-Cross, Ferrand-Prévot pushed Cant even further, but it was the muddy conditions and long running sections that fell in favour of the Belgian, who took her 13th victory of the season.
Yeah, and in the men's race, in spite of the heavy conditions, it actually came down to a four-way battle. Tom Newson took the victory from Klaas van Tornout, and then teammates Mathieu van der Poel and Philip Valsaven. You know, the fact that Ferrand-Prévot's incredible all-rounder, like cross, mountain biking and world road race champion, as is Voss. Wouldn't it be great if there was actually a competition to decide who is the best all-round cyclist?
I think we'd do well in that.
I think we probably would actually.
Who would, in seriousness, in the men's side of things, who do you reckon would be top of the list, current riders in all those disciplines?
I think for me, straight off the bat, it had to be Zdeněk Stybar.
Yeah,
but
true.
again, I don't know about his mountain biking exploits, but I know that
Yeah, I
he'd
think
be
there's
fine.
a lot of time to be lost in mountain biking. Peter Sagan, former junior world mountain bike
Yeah,
champion,
true.
I reckon he could
Definitely.
probably be pretty handy at
Can't
cross.
forget Evans, he hasn't retired yet. He was a former World Cup winner, wasn't he, in mountain biking,
Yeah, and Tour de France.
And in the future, it looks like Mathieu van der Poel. I
Yeah.
mean, what a talent he is. Road champion as a junior, cross champion at least a couple of times as well.
Yeah, if
Don't
you
know how
want
he's
to,
in mountain biking, but
If you want to wade in on this debate, let us know in the comment section down below. Let's find the world's best all-round cyclist.
Comment of the week this week comes from Mark Long. And to be perfectly honest, we just don't know what you mean, Mark. The second round of the Track World Cup took place over the last few days at the Olympic Velodrome in London, UK, and as well as some superb track action, the highlights included a new electric Derny, which did raise a few eyebrows amongst the purists, including Chris Hoy. And I think he does have a point, actually.
yeah, I guess the noise from the Derny does help to make the atmosphere of that race. Anyway, if we look at the medal table, Great Britain came out on top with 4 gold medals, Germany second with 3, whilst Colombia and China both came away with 2 each.
We had a great response last week to our new Marginal Pains section. Clearly, it seems that there's quite a bit that winds you guys up as well as us. Interestingly as well, quite a lot of opposing viewpoints.
Take, for example, James Parsons. Marginal pain. People wearing pro kit, but worse, 2 different pro kits that don't match. And T-Dug77 says, people who say you shouldn't wear pro team kit unless you're a pro. I have a Team Sky jersey that I break out from time to time, and it's fun when they look down at you and don't wave back to then drop them on the next climb.
I was a bit worried it wouldn't fit still, but it's fine.
So what do you think, Dan? Pro team kit or not?
I think you should be able to wear pro team kit. I mean, I wear my Cervelo test team kit from time to time, and I don't ride for them anymore.
Don't we know it?
But anyway, in seriousness, I think you should be able to. It's like any other sport. You see football fans out there wearing their team kit, when they go and support a team, or even when they're practicing out on the field somewhere. And it's the same for lots and lots of other sports. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to show your affinity with a certain team.
I'd echo that sentiment entirely.
Except for World Champions jerseys.
Yeah,
I think
with
there's
on that
something
one.
sacred about that.
And national champs kit as well.
Yeah, and the bands as well.
Bands, you shouldn't wear the bands if you don't them.
But in all seriousness, Dan, what is your marginal pain this week?
Well, I actually had to agree with Berend Meijer, who said marginal pain cyclists wearing ankle socks, because I am quite specific about the length of socks that you need to wear when you're riding your bike. I mean, actually, I think it should change for the size of calf muscles and size of legs and length of legs, but they need to be right, and ankle socks don't look right on anyone.
Are you saying there should be some sort of ruling then? Because I'm kind of with you on this
formula.
as well. A formula.
Input the length of shin versus diameter of calf.
Well, that would take
to
some
ankle.
thinking about, and maybe we'll get back to that another time. But
We can
ankle
find someone
socks,
intelligent
ankle
to do it.
socks are out.
So your comments down below, sock length specifically.
Oh, it seems like it was yesterday. Ah, they were good days, they were.
On the channel this week, On Wednesday, it's how to prevent knee pain. Thursday, it's the top 10 worst pieces of cycling advice.
Come on, Si! It's all about the max effort, mate. Old school training, hard as you can on the climbs. Come on! It's not about tempo, it's about going as hard as you can. Old school.
Come on, man.
I think I went a bit early, Si.
Yeah, on Friday it's GCN's commuter bike test, which is really, really interesting.
Right, Dan. Where are you going, Dan? Dan, that's the station. What's he doing? It's supposed to be a commute.
On Saturday, we're going to take a closer look at Lars van der Haar's Cyclo-Cross bike. And on Sunday, it's our usual look through the archives of GCN with Off the Back.
Yeah, and Monday is how to know when to use grease, anti-seize, fibre grip and Loctite, which should keep you on the edge of your seats until Tuesday's show.
A couple of tweets caught our attention this week. The first of those is from Alex Dowsett of Movistar, who said, "Tyre puncture protocol, remove punctured tube, check for and remove flints, put punctured tube back in, pump up, confuse yourself, repeat."
You're doing really well, mate. It's not much longer at all. Just a bit more grass.
Could you give us a hand?
No.
Good stuff, Alex. And I particularly like this one from Austrian Marco Haller. I should go and get an Australian passport now, shouldn't I? At Kenyan Bikes, at Katusha Cycling, Winky, triple smiley face.
It's quite a GCN style mistake there, isn't it?
It certainly is.
It's probably Katusha's deliberate mistake of the week, that. As ever, we'll leave you with Extreme Corner. Mathieu van der Poel showing that he's been watching GCN's How to Do Cyclocross series.
Yeah, it certainly does appear he's used the dismount slide pivot technique excellently.
He'll go far, that lad.
He certainly will.
Thanks for watching the GCN show. If you're wondering what to watch next, why not check out Dan's Christmas present ideas for 2014? Just click up there. Oh, God. Oh.
And for some of our winter training videos, including lighting and clothing, click down here.
And finally, as always, if you've liked this video, simply click on the thumbs up below.